Hi guys, this is Michael as always, and we are on my Chillin and Chattin server. Yes, I thought I'd come and finally have a crack at this fortress dungeon. No, it's a fortress, isn't it? Nether fortress. And right now I'm on peaceful. I'm not going to start building while I'm on peaceful. It's just I wanted to do a quick just intro myself in, and we're having to dodge ghast explosions. I will throw it onto something in a second before I start. But before I start also, I thought I was deciding what story I'd tell you today. And because, I've told you the one about Simon with the donkey. And I've told you the one about me throwing up on the cricket pitch before a cricket match. So I was thinking about what to tell you and decided on one. There's quite a long story, so it'll probably be a couple of parts this. But I'm guessing I'm going to be at this dungeon, this fortress, a longish time. So I can cut this into sections and tell the story. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put some difficulty on, and we'll get started, and I'll tell the story as I go. As you know, we always use, in the nether, cobble, simply because ghasts cannot destroy it with the explosive balls. Which sounds fun. So I'm going to start a little cave off, or a little tunnel I should say. Cave. It's not a cave, it's a tunnel. So, there we go. And then I'll just expand it as I walk backwards here and not fall off of the edge, hopefully. Which would be a very short episode. Anyway, yeah, so the story I'm going to tell is one from when I was about 12, and it involves me, of course, my brother, his name's Simon, and a friend called Craig. And yes, it's the same Craig that was with my father when I drank too much and threw up at the cricket pitch. So, but at this point I was about 12. So it was a few years earlier than the cricket pitch thing. Anyway, we there's where I live. There's something close to where I live called, they call it a country park, but it's more like a big field if you think about it, if you can imagine that. It's there is a park nearby, of course, and that was the one that I was throwing up in. But this is a little bit further away, and I've been doing that. It's easier. This is a little bit further away than that, and it's called a country park. Basically, it's just a big field, but people take the dogs there. That's not a good place to put it when there's ghasts about, because I can hear them. But basically, it's like a big field, and people take the dogs a walk. Oh, there's a ghast. And people take the dogs a walk on this big field, and they just call it a country park. So we were just stood on the country park, and it was quite a nice day. The three of us were chatting, and it had been raining for a couple of days. The last couple of days before this one, and if you think of the country park as like a big oval, it's like a big egg shape. So sorry, if I say I'm distracted, but I'm trying not to die, and I can hear a ghast flying round, and it's a bit off-putting. So it's like a big egg shape, big oval, and this one, about if you follow this, it's coming from over there. If you follow the edge of the country park around, about halfway along one side, there's like there you go. Oh damn phone! I said I wouldn't turn that off. This is for the thud. That's it. Okay, here comes the thud. So there's a path that breaks off from it. It's called. There he is. It's called a. Well, there's this. What the hell? that went dark very quick. I put some torches. It's called a trail. There's this trail that people walk along that breaks off from this country park. And on one side, on the right hand side, is a farm. I saw you. On one side is a farm. And I can't remember what's on the right side is a farm. Well, that was some good, wasn't it? On the right side is a farm. I can't remember what's on the left side. So what we decided to do is, now this farm, it was quite notorious. I don't think it's as bad now, but it was quite notorious for the farm field, the field that connected just to the side of this trail, where this trail was. You had to go down a banking, and you get to the farmer's field. But it used to gather water really, really well, like a little pond. Where is he? There he is, sneaky. I see you. So we knew that because it had been raining for a couple of days before, that there would be a pond there. See if I can get a couple of shots in. Not sure I can get him from here. Oh, I can. Oops, no. So, come on. I've got to be close there. Okay, whatever. So we knew that the farmer's field would have a bit of nice pond gathered, and it was a nice day, and so we decided to go and skim some stones across this pond that we knew would be on the farmer's field. So we went to this trail, and we went along the trail a little way, then went jumping down the banking and onto the farmer's field. And sure enough, there was this big collection of water, like a little pond, and we started grabbing stones, anything that was on the floor, and just skimming stones. And we were having a nice time just chatting. And then we saw, eventually, that the farmer was coming along the field towards us, coming down the field towards us. Now, what made this pretty scary was that he had his dog with him. Now, his dog had a reputation for being really, basically evil. The dog's name was called Streak, because it had like a streak of white down its head. I can see you. I don't think I can't see you. It had like a streak of white down its head, and it had a reputation for biting people. In fact, people would say that to bite itself if it annoyed itself enough. It was that nasty. And he was walking down the field towards us with Streak. So, of course, we all got scared. Me, Craig and Simon. And we ran for it. That was close. I don't want to be knocked off of here. And we ran for it as fast as we could. Back up the banking and onto this country park. Where are you? You're over there. I can hear you. Just can't see you. Yeah, so we ran back onto this country park, and back through the field itself, the country park itself, and back to the fence where we'd been stood. Now this fence had barbed wire. It had like a strut of wood going across. Then in the gap between the struts of wood was a line of barbed wire. Like each kind of board of wood had barbed wire going along the top of the board, and then there'd be a gap, and then the next board of wood and barbed wire across top of that. So we went and stood near there again and started acting all innocent as if we'd been there all the time. And eventually, the farmer is over there now. And eventually, the farmer came out onto the country park and started walking towards us. He's there, look, told you were there. And started walking towards us. Well, we decided not to run. We decided to stay there and act all innocent. And he came over and he asked us, you know, had we been walking, had we been messing about on his land? So of course we acted all like we were wounded at such a suggestion and gave it some. Well, why are you blaming us? Why have you come at us? What have we ever done to you? And all this kind of stuff. Oh, lagging. I didn't like that. If I'd have fell off there due to lag, I would have been upset.